Welcome back to the Lab Trainers to another episode of Saccharum Versus. I know it's been a little while since we've had one of these battles, but I figured I'd start off powerful with a nice Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Ubers match. Now this is a battle between me and Jayboss, a guy from my live stream. I got it straight from there. So if you ever want to try and catch a battle with me, you can check out my live streams. I will not be live streaming this week, unfortunately, but I will do my best. I definitely will when I get back, which is usually every Thursday and Saturday, depending on the time changes, depending on my own everyday work schedule. So just a quick team preview. You can see that I've got the Primal Groudon, the Primal Kyogre, my Xerneas, my Excadrill, my Gengar, which is my Mega, and Kyurem White, as Jayboss is rocking the Saccharum, the Rayquaza, the Mewtwo, the Arceus, the Groudon, which is also Primal, and the Hoopa Unbound. Now this match was a little bit interesting for me because it was one of my first real Ubers matches, just because I had finished my team and I was really challenged for it. So I wanted to see what I could do. As he leads off with his Saccharum, I do decide to lead off with Aquarius and let the sunshine in, because you know, you gotta let the sunshine in and let harmony and understanding and all that good stuff. As I do go for my Primal Reversion right here, which is automatic. I am able to have my Primal Groudon, brrr, and Desolate Land will be activating, which means that the Sun Rays are really, really strong. Water type moves will not be able to affect me at all. They will evaporate in the sun, and I go straight for my Stealth Rocks because I wasn't sure. I had a feeling that he wouldn't be able to do much to me because I am a bulky Groudon. He does go for the Stone Edge, which is going to hit me for neutral damage, but as you can see, it actually does nothing. So he decides to withdraw his Saccharum right here, which is a really good move on his part, but he does go into World Saver the Rayquaza, which was interesting, an interesting move on my opponent's part, because if I had Rock Slide, it probably would have been over. But I do go for the Precipice Blades, which was a really good prediction on his part. Don't know if he predicted it, but I'm going to assume he did. We do see his leftovers come through, so we do know that he potentially is not Mega Rayquaza. Potentially. He does go for the Dragon Dance right here, and because I knew that Rayquaza would possibly want to go for Dragon Dance, and it was probably going to outspeed the rest of my team regardless if it didn't, I wanted to slow it down, so I did go for the Thunder Wave to get the paralysis off, which is really great because that means I can gauge now how much damage anything is going to do to this Rayquaza, see what kind of set it is, as I do go for the Lava Plume, which is going to be resisted, but it is going to be enough damage just to bring it down a little bit. He does go for the Dragon Ascent, which is great for my opponent, really bad for me because it brings me down to 73, which is not good at all. It brings me down to the yellow, and it's really tough now because I have to try and switch something in on World Saver, because I cannot take it out with Aquarius on its own, and that was one thing I was afraid of, is that Dragon Ascent is a very powerful move. So the Sunlight fades as I do withdraw here, and I do decide to switch into Gjord, who is my Primal Kyogre, and you know, it was gonna make it rain right here, and I missed out on the opportunity to nickname it Chicken Noodle Soup, to let it rain and then clear it out when I switch out, but I'm not going to end up doing that. So Primordial Sea does activate, which means that fire type moves will not be will actually be like drenched out during a rain. So he does go for another Dragon Dance, which was really good for me because I'm still going to be faster than this thing after 2 Dragon Dances, even though just because it is paralyzed. And Gjord is pretty slow too, so I do end up going for the Ice Beam right here just because I know that I will be able to knock out this World Saver. And I'd probably be able to do at least a decent chunk of damage to anything else on his team with an Ice Beam, because he does have a couple dragons still. So he does decide to go into Heat Man right here. And I only went for Ice Beam 2 because if he did switch into Primal Groudon, I wanted to be able to get damage on it. Because if he had switched into Primal Groudon and not let his Rayquaza go down, Desolate Land would have activated, and then my Origin Pulse would not have actually activated. So that was probably my best play for me. So Desolate Land is activate, and it overdoes my Primordial Sea, as now I can't use water type moves, and this thing can just hit me and do whatever it wants. So I do decide to switch back into my own Groudon. So Aquarius is back here sharing the sunlight, and they're both just saying hi, you know, as this Groudon just flexing right now. He's bulking up just to try and show who's better, raising his defenses and his attack while doing so. And he does manage to outspeed me and go for the Earthquake, which will be able to knock out my Groudon, just because it hits me for super effective damage, and he's at +1 attack. But that was fine because Aquarius did what it needed to do. It set up Stealth Rocks, it slowed down Rayquaza. I'm pretty much done with it right now, so I can go back into Gjord, overset his weather with my Primordial Sea, and as he withdraws Heat Man, I had a feeling that he might but even if he didn't, I still wanted to go for Origin Pulse just because it would hit everything on his team for really good damage. It's basically Hydro Pump, but more accurate. It's like 5% more accurate. So I did go for Origin Pulse, and I vouched for that over Hydro Pump like any day, because accuracy is still going to be much better. So I am able to do a ton of damage to the Saccharum, which was really surprising, but fearing that it might be Choice Scarf potentially and will most likely outspeed me anyway, I do decide to switch into Excadrill, because he will probably try to go for an electric type move just to try and get rid of my Georg, as he does go for Bolt Strike, and I'm immune to it because I'm an Excadrill, a ground type's immune to electric. Y'all know the works. As he does decide to go into his Hoopa Unbound, which is really a strange play, just because Hoopa Unbound is not the bulkiest Pokemon. Actually, Hoopa in general is not the bulkiest Pokemon. It is new, so people are still trying to play around with it, but I'm also bulky Excadrill, so that Life Orb, Energy Ball is going to be basically doing nothing to me, and he does end up KOing himself with the Life Orb, so that's pretty interesting right there. So right now I'm getting my leftovers back, and I do go for the Iron Head, which did fail, but he does decide to send in Death Walker right here, which is his Mewtwo. Now, it's not just an ordinary Mewtwo, because as you can see, after he exerts some pressure to try and make me use my moves more often, he does reveal that he is Mega Mewtwo Y. Now this is interesting, because usually the most common, as far as I know, used Uber Mewtwo set is Mega Mewtwo X. So seeing Mega Mewtwo Y was interesting, because I've actually been wanting to run a Mega Mewtwo Y myself, as he ends up going for the Aura Sphere, which will be able to do a ton of damage to me, but the Iron Head is going to manage to crit and deal a bunch of damage back. I feel bad just because of the hacks, but hey, there's not much I can actually do about it. It's the game. Side Strike does end up coming through right here, which will be able to obliterate my Excadrill, but that's okay, because Excadrill did what it had to do. It took out a Hoopa, it scared away the Saccharum, and actually I think it managed to pick up the KO on Saccharum. I'm not 100% sure. I do decide to go into Gengar right here, so Phantom is going to Mega Evolve, and this was my surprise right here. I had no idea that Gengar could actually outspeed Mega Mewtwo Y. I thought Mega Mewtwo Y was going to be able to outspeed me, go for Side Strike, and then take me out, but that wasn't the case. I ended up outspeeding it, hitting it with Shadow Ball, and knocking out the Mega Mewtwo Y. As he does decide to send in his Arceus right here, and at this point I was like, I don't know what I should do. But I ended up realizing I had Focus Blast on it instead of Destiny Bond, which is what I really should run, but I'm glad I had Focus Blast for this particular battle, as I am able to get a huge chunk of damage off, as he does reveal that he's actually the special event Arceus with the Spatial Rend, Roar of Time, and I believe Shadow Force is on it too. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on that. And I go for the Sludge Bomb just because I figured, hey, I could either go for the special defense drop, which wouldn't do anything, or I could go for the potential poison, and if I didn't do a lot of damage, I could do that and get rid of it. But I do go for the Sludge Bomb, and I am able to knock it out, as he does decide to send in Saccharum now. And Terra Volt is going to activate, not do really too much, if not anything, because Shadow Ball is going to be able to take it out, and Mega Gengar has just taken out 3 Pokemon on his own. So Mega Gengar is pretty much a baller on this team right now, as he does decide to bring in Heatman, as it is, I believe, his last Pokemon on his team. So the Desolate Land does activate, which is really, really good for him. And at this point in the match, I decided to go for Taunt, because in case he did decide to set up Bulk Up, I didn't want him to do that. So he does go for the Lava Plume actually instead, and he is able to knock out Phantom, which is fine, because Phantom did exactly what it needs to do. I had about 3 more Pokemon in the back, and I had Xerneas right here especially to finish up this sweep. Now, a funny thing is that before this match, I had the wrong item on my Xerneas. I had a Power Weight instead of a Power Herb. And Power Herb will help me get my Geomancy off in the first turn, as you can see right here, which will boost up my special attack, my special defense, and my speed by 2 stages, which is really, really good, because it'll guarantee me that I outspeed most things, and it'll guarantee that I can at least take any special hit if I don't knock it out already with a +2 attack. So this Lava Plume is actually going to be doing nothing. And I misclick here to go for Thunder. It was I thought it was where Moonblast was, so I kind of just clicked it quick, and then I realized, and I was a little afraid that it might actually hurt me, but he ends up going for Giga Impact, which will be great because I am able to knock out this Groudon. There we go, that's what it is, a Groudon with 2 Moonblasts, and because he has to recharge the second turn, the second Moonblast is gonna allow this Groudon to go down. And so thank you for the good game, Jayboss. It was a really good match. I had a lot of fun, especially because I finally got to pull off Geomancy Xerneas. I had been wondering for a while why it wasn't working, And then I was like, oh, I have the wrong item on it. I thought for a second that maybe Power Herb wouldn't work with Geomancy, but I was like, oh wait, I've seen it other places. So again, good game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so, because your help is greatly appreciated. And be sure to check the description for the links to my other sites, such as Facebook, YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, as well as my Twitter. And I will see you guys next time when you visit the lab. Bye!